I'm an osteopathic trained physician. I've been practicing clinical medicine for 25 plus years. I always like to say I quit counting at that point because that's enough, right?
The plus works, yeah.
Right. I'm board certified in emergency medicine and switched into functional medicine, so I'm certified in functional medicine. I have a telehealth practice and I have a few other certifications as well, but that kind of gives you an idea. My passion really stems from wanting to help people find natural ways to improve their health and vitality.
Well, we are grateful for you taking time out of your clearly very busy schedule to do this with us. And one of the things that's been really cool is as Dr. Campbell's just come on board, really just, weeks into this, already I've seen her on some team pages doing trainings and really understanding how the human body works. And it just felt like such a great opportunity for her to hop on with us today and maybe get into a little bit of the science and kind of the nitty gritty of this product. And maybe I'll start there, Dr. Campbell. Tell us a little bit about stem cells and the role they play in the body.
Yeah, that's a great question. Stem cells are really what all of our cells start as. So and most of us are familiar with the idea of conception, right? And the initial cells dividing, and eventually we become this multicellular human. Well, how does that happen? And how do the stem cells are really what create specific tissue types, heart cells versus nerve cells versus liver, spleen, whatever other cells. We have a million different types of cells in our bodies, but they all start out as a stem cell. So as we become adults, when we are injured or we have tissue that needs repaired or a cell that's misbehaving, we break down that cell, but we replace it using stem cells. So that's really our repair cell, is a stem cell. And as many of those as we can put into use, obviously, the better we can repair anything that's injured or damaged or needs a little bit of help.
Okay, so that makes it, you broke it down very simple way. I like that, right? It just becomes, literally become these cells. So walk us through, are these circulating through our body at all the time? Where are they? How does our body actually get to those stem cells?
Yeah, that's a great question. So they're held in our bone marrow and a couple other places. They're also held in our adipose tissue and in the dental pulp, which is actually the root of the tooth, interestingly. So there's a few places they're held, but the largest majority of them are held in our bone marrow as we age. That's where we hold on to them. And I like to look at it as kind of a seatbelt mechanism, but it's really a combination of proteins, receptors, and enzymes, and all that to say that it's held in the bone marrow by the seatbelt. And then once there's an injury or some kind of a trigger in the body, other places that are calling for those stem cells to come to the area, we need some help. That seatbelt gets broken and they get released into the bloodstream. That's the natural process, right? So if you get an injury, you get punched in the arm, you fall off your bike, you have a heart attack, you get a head injury, whatever those things may be, the cells that are injured send out protein signals, chemical signals that call for those stem cells to come out of the bone marrow. And so that's kind of how it works, if that makes sense.
That makes, I like that analogy, the seatbelt. We're kind of loosening that seatbelt, so to speak. So maybe transition a little bit into this product, Stemactive, obviously that has active ingredients that show it releases those stem cells. Maybe walk us through a little bit about Stemactive and what it does in the body to help facilitate this stem cell circulation.
Yeah, absolutely. So it does a few key things. The first thing is there's 3 different ingredients that actually release these or let go of that seatbelt or open that seatbelt up for us to dump these stem cells into our circulation and allow them to begin circulating through the body, looking for areas that need to be repaired, that need some help. Then we have a couple of ingredients that actually help those to migrate into that tissue, specifically into the tissue that needs more help. And then we have one beautiful one that has a lot of anti-inflammatory, antioxidants to help really lower the inflammatory response and to help lower that oxidative stress that actually damages our stem cells. So it's kind of a hand in hand. All these different ingredients are synergistic for this whole mechanism of releasing these stem cells and then guiding them to where they need to go into the tissue where they're going to help us, and then reducing inflammation and oxidative stress in addition to that. So I hope that's, yeah.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. No, and I love the way you're breaking this down. So maybe walk me through a little bit, and maybe this is a little bit redundant, but I like the way you're describing this. Walk me through, okay, I'm maybe new to Healthy Home, trying Stemactive for the first time. I take this into my body. Walk me through what's happening in the body right then, just so people have an understanding of how this product actually works.
Yeah, well, when you consume the product, we actually have some great research that shows within 2 hours of taking it, in the first hour to 2 hours, you begin releasing these stem cells out of your bone marrow. These are your own stem cells. This is not like the IV therapies that cost 10, 20, 30 or more $1,000, right? They're very expensive, although they're great therapies, right? They're great therapies. But this is different. You're actually releasing your own stem cells right out of your own bone marrow. So, and into your bloodstream. And once those get out there, they get down into the capillaries, which are the teeny tiny little areas of vessels. I look at it almost like a web or a net, where the arterioles, the teeny tiny arterioles, web into the veins. And when you get here, the blood it's almost like a stream coming into a lake, because the veins don't have that pressure holding onto them. So then it just kind of flows out into the tissue, looking for whatever is needing help. And the tissues that need help will signal with chemical signals, proteins that they release, saying, hey, look, I'm not doing so hot, I could use a little help over here. And the stem cells hear that, and they bind onto those cells, and then they begin to do some repair. And they actually turn from a cell that could be anything into whatever it is that you're needing. So for example, if you had an injury to your heart or your brain, we have studies that show that our stem cells can be released from bone marrow and go up into your brain and actually create a brand new neuron. That same stem cell could create a heart cell. That same stem cell could create a liver cell. So really, it's about where that stem cell needs to go, what is in need of help. And it'll be different for everyone, obviously, because what damage you may have from whatever in your life, I may have something that's different. My experience in life is different. Even if I have a twin, our experience in life is different. And so where those stem cells go and what we feel first because of it may be different, which is why you get sort of these broad spectrum testimonials that we have, like, oh, my knee quit hurting, or my this, and this, I felt better here, or I had more energy, or I slept better. There's a lot. It's interesting what I hear pouring in, because as you said, I'm relatively new to this company at this moment. But what I'm hearing pouring in from the people I've tried this with, or I am trying this with, are a conglomerate of different things. Not everyone is feeling the exact same thing right away, and that's not surprising, given understanding the physiology of how stem cells work.
I love that, and we tell that to people often. They'll be like I said, I have a sore knee or whatnot, and we always say, well, stay on it long enough. That may not be your body's greatest need. They may be getting signaling of saying, hey, maybe a heart or brain's going, we need some attention here first, and eventually it'll get there. But I think that's a really great breakdown of how you put that out there. Maybe I'll leave this one a little open-ended. Anything else you'd want to share with people just to kind of get to know a little bit about stem cells and Stemactive before I let you go?
That's a good question. What else have we not covered?
You've done a great job.
It's one of those things that really can be helpful no matter what you come to the table with. And I think that for me, that's the draw for this product, is that no matter who comes to my practice, whatever is going on with them, I know that this is a helpful product. Whenever I can find something broad reaching that way, that can help just about anyone because it's activating their own body's repair and healing system, that to me is very powerful, right? So, and it's not very often you find something that works on everything. And I know that's a big stretching statement, but if you really break down what we're doing here, we're releasing our own stem cells, we're activating our own body's ability to heal itself. That's really what we're doing. And we're doing it through a food-based product, which is beautiful to me. Because, if you can do it naturally, why use pills if you can do it naturally, right?
Completely agree. Well, Dr. Campbell, you have been so enlightening. You've been sensational. I appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day to break down Stemactive and stem cells with us. And we'd love to have you back on sooner rather than later.
Wow, I'd love to. Happy.